Hi besties, only Grandma Kimmy here. It's definitely me, look. Hello. Hello besties. I've come on today to say, well, that's it then. That's the Christmas celebration gone and the New Year celebration's gone and it's back to ordinary winter clothes. I'm going to say I've changed them all. Not all my babies, because I have a number of babies. Some of them you don't see very often because they're definitely mine and for my eyes only. But here we are, look, and we tried to be as wrapped as we could, warm. I even put little grey leggings on her because it is terribly cold for my Ray Ray. Here we are. They're all wrapped up warm. I've put warmer clothes on them. What are you looking at, Sweet Pea? Chucking his jumper out. Oh, you're going to fall, you're going to fall. Sit back. Oh! Okay, look at the ceiling. That's a good idea. And then there's Ella over here in her lovely outfit. What I've come on for basically is to say that I hope everyone's well and that you're all moving into the new year with a smile on your face. I also wanted to say I've been doing some really good television watching. We've been really lucky over the last few weeks. There's been some fantastic things on telly. I have to admit to being a bit of a, can't say history fanatic, as in I like to know what went on years ago in the domestic type of way of life, or people's history, people's personal history, not so much wars and things like that, but some of that's interesting too. But anyway, so I've been catching up. Well, I haven't been going out because I haven't felt 100%. On some of the programmes, on things like the iPlayer and that, you know, where you can watch things later on if you want to. And there was a fantastic mini-series on there. I think that's what you'd call it. I think it was 8 shows. And it was called, I think it was The Feud Between Jane and Betty. And it was Jane Crawford and Betty Davis. Those two wonderful, wonderful ambassadors of their time of the golden screen. It really was a fantastic mini-series. I enjoyed every minute of it. Seeing the clothes from the eras. Because, I mean, it started, I think, I might be incorrect in saying it started in the 40s. But it went right up to, I think, 1979. And it was fantastic. And the actresses and actors that played the parts of all the leading characters, who obviously were also from the silver screen, were absolutely marvellous. I didn't realise how big the feud between Crawford and Davis was. I really didn't realise that they had kind of it wasn't a hatred, it was a jealousy, I think. I think one who was very beautiful all of her life, maybe couldn't act as well, but she acted fairly well. And then the other one, Betty, who act as an actress was sublime, but she felt she wasn't beautiful enough. But when you look back at the pictures, they were neither unattractive women, and they both worked hard at what they did and they achieved what they wanted. For me, the sad part was that even in their later years, when obviously time was moving on and they got the wrinkles and that we all get as we get older, their film roles didn't come up so often. And the film roles that were offered them, they didn't really want to take. They didn't want to be somebody's drunk mother or somebody's grandmother or something like that, or an old hag that happens to own a pub or something. That wasn't their thing. They still saw themselves as supreme actresses, which they were. And they found that hard, and I was thinking, you know what? It is hard. I mean, I sat here the other day, I'm not an actress, but I sat here the other day and I thought to myself, do you know what? When I was much, much younger, I used to look in the mirror and think, oh, you're so ugly. I felt that about myself all my life. That is just me. That's the way I am. And now I look at photos of myself then and I think, do you know what, girl? You weren't that bad, but I didn't make good with what I'd got. And I saw a lot of my friends with all this makeup and their hair dyed and everything, and I just didn't bother because I didn't think I was special, so I didn't need to do it. Maybe if I'd taken that time out, maybe I would have felt more good about myself. I don't know. The other thing is I wanted to say, because I am not someone that shouts for women's rights. I believe we have rights, but I'm not a person that stands up and shouts about it. But I believe it's still true today. You still today see female newscasters, when they get to a certain age, being asked to take on a different role, being asked to no longer be in front of the camera. That's the females. But for the gentlemen, it seems they can go on forever. And when I say ever, I mean ever. It doesn't matter how old they are, they can still be seen. What is that about? Surely we've moved past all that now, haven't we? Am I wrong? Haven't we? Yeah, so, you know, I've been very thoughtful over these days because there's not been much going on. So I tend to have thinking time, which, you know, I just sit and think about what's going on around us. And it's true. As a woman, I'm lucky. I believe as a woman, my choice in life was I wanted to be a mother and a grandmother and a housekeeper and a wife. That was my choice. That's what I always wanted. It wasn't what I told I had to do, but it's what I wanted to do. And I know there's many women out there today that have children and they want to go back to work. Good on them. You can't knock them for that. If that's what they want to do, that's fantastic. The other thing I don't agree with is when you have young women, well, not only young women, but mothers, they want to be home with their children and they don't want their children to be latchkey kids and they don't want their children to be brought up by nannies. Nannies, I mean ladies that look after their children, not the grandparents. They want to bring their children up and suddenly they can't. They have to go back to work. There's a mortgage to be paid, there's insurances to be paid, there's school clothes to be brought. And husbands' wages might not cover it all, so they need to go out and get that bit of extra cash. And I think it's sad that women today, and men included, because some men are house husbands, they'd like to stay at home with the babies while the wife goes and carries on with her career, that a lot of young people don't have that choice today that I had. I had the choice to stay home while my husband worked. I had that choice to spend fantastic times with my children, to watch everything that my children developed, the first steps, the first spoon they held, everything. I was lucky to be there. And I think it's sad that people today have to have their babies and have to go back to work. I don't mean have to as in if they choose not to go back to work, they should have that right to stay home. It's a shame. But maybe it's me. Or maybe, this is just a thought, is it that we all want bigger and better? So to have bigger and better, we have to work. They have to work themselves into the ground. Is that what it is? I don't know. It's just my mind thinking on things and wondering about life in general, how it is for people, how it should be and how I would like it to be for many more people in this world today. Life's a funny old thing, really. And the funny thing about it is we just have to live that life as best we can. And all these thoughts came from watching Jane and Betty, the feud of Jane and Betty. It led me from one step to another until at last I began to think, do you know what? As a mother, times were hard, money was tight, but I was blessed that I could be home with my babies. Totally and utterly blessed. Anyway, my darlings, I'll say goodbye to you now, from me, and obviously goodbye from the babies. Love you, my besties. You're very special. Bye.